Welcome to the Employment Wednesday podcast with Yvonne Shabangu. Have you heard of the scripture Hosea 4 verse 6? My people perish because of the lack of knowledge. The same applies to your career. When you don't know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, you are likely to make wrong career choices. But worry not. Employment Wednesdays is here for you to offer you all the answers relating to your career and offer you strategies to develop your career. Enjoy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Employment Wednesdays. Before we even start, good news. We just hit 10,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. Our guest is clapping, by the way. I always tell Yvonne, we need a live audience. That way we can have like some great reactions whenever I say something. But thank you guys very much. We really love your engagement. We really love the fact that you've been supportive of this platform and everything that we've brought to you. We've been trying to make it empowering, bringing you guys insightful guests, adding jokes here and there. We're still trying to keep it professional, but we really love the fact that you guys are loyal to the platform and have been supporting us. Now, today we have quite a unique guest because she's done so much work in trying to empower others, both in her own capacity and through other programs. I have with me Unokolo Mkize, and Nokolo is a forensic auditor, but she has, a very varied and experienced past, and she's been in the legal compliance space. She's worked for BMW Financial Services South Africa, and even before that, she was very impressive during her undergraduate studies. She actually graduated with a distinction from the University of Free State. She's also done an LLM degree there, in mercantile law, specializing in tax and technology. So she's a very, very unique and special guest, and she's bringing a lot of insight for us today. Nakolo, how are you today?
Thank you. Oh, that was
Was it good?
it was good.
Thank you.
I was like, are you talking about me?
Yeah.
But I'm well. I'm well. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. So, before we even get to the fancy stuff you're doing today, when I checked out your profile, not only is it impressive that you've done so well on the academic side, but I saw that you were widely active during your undergraduate degree. Can you touch on some of the stuff you did there and how you juggled it with school?
Yo, I actually did a lot. Some of the things I did are not even on my CV, but some of the things I did, it was because of circumstances. So, I started by being a tutor for law of persons and law of property, just a bit. And then I also was a computer literacy student assistant,
Right?
and then I was a teaching assistant. So I started tutoring because I was I'm very introverted. I don't know if I'm still am. I
Okay.
still am, but I was very introverted, and I wanted something that would make me speak to people, so that, because obviously the world that we're in requires us to speak to people.
Yeah.
So, and I also wanted to be able to articulate myself well because I wasn't always articulate. So I applied for tutoring, and then I started tutoring, enjoyed tutoring. And then I also applied for computer student assistant. I wasn't always good in computer. And by the way, I got a 50 on the dot for computer
Wow.
in first year. So I was
Okay.
like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
A friend of mine really helped me preparing for that because there's an entrance test,
All right.
and you have to get like an 80 and above.
Ooh.
So from someone who got a final mark of 50
Yes.
to getting 80% for an entrance test, I had to really work hard. So a friend of mine who really did well in computer helped me. And that's how I was able to get to be a student assistant for computer literacy. But it was circumstances. I didn't have funding at the time.
All
So I
right.
had to find jobs to keep me, alive, because I had to pay
Yeah.
rent, I had to pay a lot of things. So then I had to juggle two jobs at the time, and it was really, really draining, especially for computer, because sometimes you have sessions at like 7 p.m.
Oh.
to 9 p.m. and you have to be at the lab. So it was really, really draining, and still I have my schoolwork to do.
Yes.
So it was a lot. Then I applied for teaching assistant, and the money wasn't good. That's another thing. The
Yeah.
money wasn't good. It didn't cover like anything. Then I applied in my final year. I applied for teaching assistant because money is better there.
Okay.
It's quite better. I could quit tutoring and student assistant and still be fine.
Yeah.
Still be able to pay rent and all my other necessities. So yeah, that's what I did. how I was able to juggle that, I think I like to believe that I work better at night.
All right.
So I was able to still do my duties as a teaching assistant during the day,
Okay.
and then at night I'll just like be studying, and then yeah.
That's amazing and very commendable. I really love the fact that you've been in this sort of hustle attitude for a long
Yeah.
time. I think a lot of young people need that.
And I also sold donuts, by the way, during
Oh,
that
really?
time. Yes, I
Did you
sold
make the donuts yourself or just
No, there was a bakery that would deliver them on campus because I stayed on campus.
Okay.
And the delivery guy would like arrive at like 7 a.m. And you can imagine, like in winter, I have to walk to campus so that I can get my delivery.
Ew.
Yeah, it was a lot. And then some of the students at UFS would tell you, like, I'd go to class, like, there's no rest I don't know at
Yeah.
UFS because I just like go rest and sell my donuts.
That's amazing. What flavor was your favorite?
It was only like it was only chocolate donuts.
Okay,
I
okay.
hate donuts to this day.
Don't worry. I'm a queen corner. Okay, so tell me how you ended up hustling your way into a graduate program then. I understand that obviously you moved from university and you didn't take the traditional route of going for articles or rather just doing articles. So how did you end up within a company that could give you that opportunity?
So, when I completed my degree, as you said, I completed it with distinction. I took it to LinkedIn that, hey, I'm excited to announce that I obtained my degree with distinction. And I got a DM from a BMW recruiter. She said,
Okay.
"Hi, Nopolo, congratulations. We have space. We're looking for someone with a legal degree, and we think that you'd be, the best fit. Please send us your CV and every the documents." So I was excited. I did that. I sent them everything, and then they then I went through obviously the recruitment process because you're still going to go through the recruitment process. I met with the head of compliance at the time.
All
She
right.
interviewed me, got my interview, and then I think about a week later, then I got my offer.
Nice,
Then I
nice.
started working just like that.
And what were the emotions that you went through, heading into that environment, especially just straight out of school?
I was so happy. I don't want to lie.
Yeah.
I was so happy. It was my first time in Johannesburg. I had to move from Bloemfontein. I'm also from KZN, Emakaya. So
Yeah.
it was just a lot. And I'm just seeing this big city. So I was really happy. And you can imagine coming from university and now you're in this big city and in this big company as
Yeah.
well. You also feel intimidated. But I think the one thing that made it easier for me is that in the department that I was in, I was actually with my friend and we were like in the same class. So
Nice.
we were both graduates in that department. So it was easy. And the people that I worked with as well, they were really easygoing people. And yeah.
Okay. Can you take me through perhaps your first month? Firstly, what was the department that you were placed in and what were your duties on a day to day, especially as a newly graduated person without much, context into things?
Yeah. So my first month, firstly, I was placed in legal compliance. I was placed in compliance. And so within compliance, then you have obviously like different sectors. And I was placed under anti-money laundering.
Okay.
So even though like I was placed in anti-money laundering, there are other duties that I would do for the other, but I was mainly like focused on anti-money laundering. And anti-money laundering it's like basically about you're against the money laundering, and it's a financial services company as well because I work for BMW Finance.
Okay.
So it's a financial services company. So you have to know FICA, you have to report. So we're basically just like ensuring that the people who are using our services, people who are financing through BMW, are not money laundering through BMW.
Okay.
So would like sort of what do onboard onboard clients.
Yes.
Making sure that they comply with FICA as well, making sure that they also for companies, because other people usually like finance through their companies and not individually.
Yes, yes.
So it also just check the company structures as well, just to make sure that there isn't anyone who is a criminal. Also, that's other things that we would check for.
Yeah.
So we have like systems where we check if somebody is like clean and we can do business with them. Yeah. So those were like day
Nice.
to day, and it was actually very great first month, because what I did love about working there is the fact that they don't treat you like a graduate. They
Okay.
treat you as like a part of the team. You don't do like the small stuff. They actually like throw you in the deep end and you do like actual work.
Nice.
yeah.
And how does training typically work within a graduate program? Like, what are the usual methods in which they use to empower you, and how do they assess you to see if perhaps you've developed to perhaps the level that they want you to reach?
Yeah. So in my first job, as I said, it wasn't very like conventional training, because they literally treat you like one of them.
Yeah.
So but I would be able to speak then I got into a graduate program that was like very structured then. So what you do then is they're obviously going to sort of introduce you to the work, but like they're also going to give you like training. Maybe the first 2 weeks is going to be like exclusively training
Yeah.
into the company as well, before you even get to train for the work. And the most important thing for the work that I do when I got into the graduate program is knowing Excel. You have to know Excel,
okay.
or else, you won't survive. So you do have like Excel trainings as well that are very like structured. And also the systems that I guess it differs from company to company. The type of systems that you use, then they will also going to introduce you into the systems that they use. But remember that when then you get to a level of maybe being like a senior associate or an associate, then you have to get to report writing. Now you have to write the reports. But as a graduate and as a trainee, they would maybe take you, for example, if somebody is going for an interview, then
Yeah.
they will take you so that you can see the methods. How do they interview the person that they're interviewing? What questions do they ask to
Yeah.
ultimately get to the answer that we're looking for? So and I think the most important thing is just to like take every opportunity that you get. If somebody needs help as a graduate, be there. Like, I'm not saying now like take everything and then you're gonna end up exhausted. No.
Yeah.
But like, if you see this is an opportunity, this is where I also would like to be in my career, then go for it. Do everything, literally do everything. Don't be, I know our generation shame out.
Yeah, boy. I know you guys. I know y'all.
I know we're like, oh my gosh, this is not for me. No, I can't be doing 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
But trust me, like, do everything that you can.
Okay, so I was also watching some of your videos because you do a lot, you drop a lot of germs online, and thank you for that.
Thank you.
And I think one of the things that I heard you mention was that particularly for legal compliance, when someone is transitioning from a law firm and they've done articles, it doesn't help to think that you're already equipped to come and service a company that needs perhaps help with compliance work. And I want you to touch on how that work perhaps differs from the traditional work that we understand ordinary attorneys to do. So what would be the difference that justifies you having to go through another
Training.
graduate program?
Yeah, so we LLB people, right? When we do articles, I haven't done articles, but I do know people who've done articles, and also I've done PLT as well. So I know the type of training that we get.
Yes, yes.
We get strictly legal training.
Yeah.
And in a compliance environment, you have to know, for example, as I said, FICA, you have to know, for example, and it also depends on the industry that you're in. Imagine you're a legal compliance trainee or officer in the mining industry. What do you know about mining? You don't know anything about mining. You don't even know the regulations that regulates the mining industry. So they still need to train you on that, because if you're coming with your articles experience, and let me just make an example, you were placed under RAAF or banking and finance, and you're in a mining industry, it's totally different. You really don't know anything about the industry. If they can even like throw a question at you and they ask which regulations regulates the mining industry, If I can ask you now, which regulations?
Hey, I'm not the one answering questions in this interview.
You see the points that I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
Like you really don't know anything about the industry. So how are you going to help the company comply
Yeah.
if you don't know the regulations? Because another thing is compliance is really, really mostly about regulations.
Yeah,
is.
I see that. I see that. Yeah.
It is about regulations. So they also want it's somebody who's going to help them stay compliant with the law.
Okay.
Basically. Yeah.
I love that you touched on having industry knowledge because that's something I also preach a lot, especially to students that just think the law operates in
same.
isolation and the same throughout, different contexts. So if you were a student today and you wanted to perhaps start understanding different industries with the aim of ultimately landing in a compliance role or something similar, what do you think the practical steps would be? Just thinking, through your own imagination.
Yeah. So for people who've asked me, I've told them this as well. Just think about the one industry that you think you're interested in. For example, if you're interested in financial services, you're looking at banks, you're looking at investment companies as
Yes,
well.
yes.
And start being intentional from when you're still in university.
Yeah.
If you have to go job shadow, ask somebody to go and job shadow that department. Find a mentor as well who is in that space so that they can be able to tell you, okay, this is how it works. You can have coffee with people as well. Don't be scared, because another thing that we tend to do, especially as students, is thinking that, because this person is so accomplished, they won't be, why would they even want to mentor me? And we're also
Yeah.
scared to approach people. So that's another thing that I always say. And then you start intentionally applying to those industries. And you start by, you can also just send emails. And there's a mentorship session that I was attending by Mpo. She's also was once a guest here.
Yes.
And she was saying that there's a man that said he sent 100 emails to
Yeah.
CEOs
Yeah.
of mining CEOs.
Yes.
And he only got 3 responses out of the 100.
Yeah.
And ultimately landed a role with 1. So send those emails, send those LinkedIn DMs as well, and ask about the industry if you want to know about the industry, because you can't just blindly enter into an industry and you don't know anything about it. The only thing you know is that I'm interested in compliance. Okay, but what do you know about compliance? What are the steps that you've taken to show that you want, to get into compliance? Do free certifications as well. Watch YouTube videos as well. And I think that's like the best steps to take towards ultimately getting into the role that you want to get into.
Nice. I mean, you touched on a good point there, not blindly moving forward. And I think even in one of your videos, you mentioned it, that even when applying, students should try and just tailor their applications to whatever the role perhaps wants you to have. Obviously not lying, but trying to have an appreciation of the different requirements that exist within those roles.
Yeah.
Can you tell me how how you practically do that as a student? I think in one of your videos you even mentioned having categories of the type of places you're applying to. So can you touch on that? What does it mean to not just apply blindly, but to be intentional and strategic when applying?
Okay. So I've done this as well. When there's a job opening and you just have one CV
Yeah, bro.
that you just apply for
Yes.
every position that opens, but you're not looking at what are the requirements? Yeah. Okay, what is it that exactly that they're looking for? Let me just make an example. Maybe it's an opening in audit. It's an opening in audit, and they're looking for graduates. They specifically say that in their requirements, we're looking for someone who has Excel skills, for example. And you're applying there, you're not mentioning anything about Excel. You haven't done Excel in your life. You haven't
Yeah.
taken also steps. And maybe it's a stupid example, but
No, it's not,
actually. You'll get my point. So you try to do certifications in Excel as well. There are
Yes.
free certifications, Microsoft certifications that you can do. Show the employer or show the recruiter that there is something that I'm doing about it.
Yeah.
And also I also say that you must also categorize your industries. Have maybe your top 3 industries that you want to work in. Maybe you have. I feel like I speak a lot about mining at this point, and I don't know anything about mining. But have maybe like mining. Have financial services as an industry, and then exactly if they're looking for a mining intern, I'm the best possible candidate because these are the steps that I've taken.
Yeah.
And when I am applying, my CV is tailored specifically for this industry and specifically for this company because different companies look for different things. So yeah.
I love that. I love that. Now, speaking of you being involved in mentorship, I understand that you're part of the Leah Tom mentorship program.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about how you guys try to empower students there? What are the attributes you look to improve in each student?
So Eliatom mentorship, I was once a mentee in the Eliatom mentorship in 2023, I think. And when I joined, as a student, I joined blindly because I didn't know anything about the industry. And I knew Atlehang because I always watched, like a YouTube videos. So I knew this is the person, if there's a mentorship, I would want to be mentored by this person. But what the mentorship does is it brings in different mentors and from different spheres. We have advocates, we have head of legal and tech like Mpo. We have people who are in practice as well, and that sort of gives our mentees a bit of everything.
Yeah.
If you want to get into advocacy, this is the route that you take. We also have recruiters as our mentors. So they also tell them, okay, this is what we're looking for as recruiters. This is how you can stand out as a candidate.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what we're looking for so I think it is a very great mentorship program because it doesn't just look at one thing. And we also categorize our mentees according to what do they like. If, for example, they like being in practice in banking and finance, then we place them under that mentor so that they can learn more, which is something that I did touch on, that if you're looking to get into an industry, look for someone, who's doing that. If you want to get into advocacy, we also place you under that specific mentor who is an advocate so that you get a feel of how it is. And if you have any other questions, you can just speak to your mentor and ask them, because maybe asking Atlehang about advocacy wouldn't be the best because she has never been an advocate. For example, if you ask me about articles, I've never done articles, so I'm not the best person to ask. So yeah, we really try to have our mentees get the best experience out of the mentorship program and also just get the best knowledge out of the mentorship program.
All right. I think we should take it back to your work now, the current work that I understand you do, which is forensic auditing.
Yeah.
Firstly, I think I just want to say congratulations because I understand you're doing this work at one of the big 4 auditing firms, which I imagine, is better experience and training than any other place. So can you tell me what a forensic auditor is exactly?
Sure. So forensics is actually also like divided. So we have forensic accountants, we have forensic auditors, and we have forensic investigators. Other people use it interchangeably, but if you're a chartered accountant, for example, then you would be a forensic accountant because you do like more of the accounting work.
Okay.
But forensic auditing is basically about investigations, financial crime investigations. So, for example, if there is a company ABC is financial manager, we suspect that they're doing corruption and fraud and they're cooking accounting books, then that company ABC would then approach us and say, okay, these are the allegations. We are alleging that this person is doing 1, 2, and 3. Please look into it. And that is when a forensic auditor or a forensic investigator, whichever one, would then get involved. Then they would be able to investigate, okay, they would take your work phone. Sometimes, actually, the Madlanga Commission is the best place to be if you want to know about forensics because, and then we're able to then analyze the evidence. This is why I always encourage people, if you want to get into forensic investigations, pass your evidence
Oh,
module.
okay.
Yes, because the law of evidence teaches you how to look at evidence, how to also lead evidence.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of interviews. So if you're interviewing someone and you want to lead them to where you want, then you must ask the right questions. So you must be able to know how to lead the evidence. So it's basically about financial crime. We investigate financial crime. We do also a lot of what do they call them? Procurement crime. This is a
Okay.
lot of procurement crime. We look into, for example, did they follow the right bidding process?
Yeah.
Was it fair, and all of those things? So yeah, it's basically about looking at financial crime in a company, and yeah, we find a lot of financial managers cooking books, so we must know and who is this person working with. We find a lot of that. So it's quite interesting work.
All right. Can you tell me a bit more about the career progression? Like, where do you usually start, and what is the highest level that you could perhaps attain if you were perhaps a forensic auditor, no
Okay.
matter the company?
Okay. Hey, let me speak about this one specific
Okay,
the
that's
specific
fine.
company. It actually works more or less the same as a law firm.
Okay.
So you're going to start as an associate, right? You start as an associate for 3 years. You then progress to a senior associate. I think you can stay as a senior associate for as long as you can,
Yeah.
because obviously I think they are looking for, like specifically, they can't just promote you. And then from a senior associate, you become a manager.
All right.
And then from manager, you become a senior manager. From a senior manager, you become an associate director. From a director, then you become a partner.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
And then in terms of just widely the industry, how much opportunity, and from a monetary standpoint, how much does the role pay? If you're comfortable sharing broad numbers for those that are just trying to compare, should I go into this thing? Should I go into this thing? What are the prospects from an earning perspective?
So I think also it depends on the industry that you're in. So
Okay.
obviously there are industries that pay more than the others. And if you're starting as a trainee in the forensic space, I'd say something around, let's say like your first year of training, let's say something around 320,000 to 360,000
Okay.
as a trainee. And then if you have like a bit of experience, then maybe look at 520,000 to maybe 650,000.
Okay.
And then from that point onwards, I can't really say because
No.
I don't know.
And I think it makes sense. I mean,
yeah.
just to cover you there, I think a lot of the questions around how much people earn make me uncomfortable, because everyone imagines that there's just a fixed minimum and a fixed maximum for everyone. But different people bring different things to the table. And usually the minimum and the maximum applies for graduate roles and like entry level roles.
Yeah.
After that, people can get promoted and earn higher based on their output, based on how they've tried to qualify further. So it does get a bit, tricky after you leave the training and you start
Yeah.
actually being a professional. It's every man for themselves, and what you bring to the table sort of determines how much you earn. So I'm sorry if that was me just, give us the numbers.
You know what? I'm very comfortable with sharing numbers. Even
Yeah.
my friends know this. We are discussing our finances. We're
Yes,
discussing
yes.
how much we earn.
Yeah.
Like I'm very comfortable with that. Don't worry.
All right. And then tell us a bit more about the craziest things you've seen, either directly from your work or just when looking around at the work of forensic auditors. Like, what's the most prevalent sort of, you've touched a bit on it, but what are the most prevalent crimes that you guys come across?
Construction crime. We do see a lot of construction crime, but it is also related to procurement crime, because you'd find that the person was responsible, is like hiring their friends or whatever, and then now there's construction, there's some crime happening there because, for example, they bought a mic and then they said it's 300,000 and the mic is like
I
120.
think we've seen those in the news. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, there's actually things that happen in real life. Yeah, and I think the craziest thing I've seen is somebody trying to delete themselves because they were caught. Yeah.
Oh, which I mean is unfortunate. The
It
fact
is
that you've had
unfortunate.
to push things that far.
Yeah, but why are you stealing?
True. Why are you stealing? Okay. Before things get too serious, I want to go back to LinkedIn. I'm a very big advocate for people using LinkedIn to promote themselves and profile their work. And I think you've touched on how even your first opportunity came through LinkedIn.
Yeah.
For those students sleeping on the power of LinkedIn, could you please just explain how they could take advantage of that platform to actually open up opportunities for themselves?
Yo, I'm a big advocate of LinkedIn, guys. Please use LinkedIn like as much as you can, because other people think, oh, I'm gonna come across as being arrogant.
Yeah, cringe.
Like, use LinkedIn. I literally got my first opportunity because I posted that I graduated cum laude, and somebody reached out to me. And even after, there are other people who reached out to me, by the way. So can you imagine? You must post even when in your head you're thinking, oh, but this doesn't really matter. Post it on LinkedIn. Somebody is looking some way. A CEO, I recently actually said this on one of my videos.
Yeah.
A CEO somewhere is looking exactly for you specifically. So post your achievements on LinkedIn. Take advantage of LinkedIn, because which other professional platform are you going to use to advertise yourself besides LinkedIn? So post your work. Somebody out there is looking for exactly yourself. So you must always post. If you just got a certificate for being the most cleanest, even post it on LinkedIn, because there's somebody who's looking for the cleanest person in the office. Post it, no matter how little you think it is, just post it on LinkedIn. Somebody out there is looking. Recruiters are always on LinkedIn, and they're looking for the best possible candidates, and you might be just one. So post on LinkedIn.
Nice. And then what are the most prevalent questions that you've been getting in your own platforms by students that are looking for opportunities?
I get a lot of, Noxolo, I've graduated, I don't know what to do. Noxolo, I have a BCom law and I don't know what's the next step. I can't really speak more on BCom law because I didn't do like an undergraduate before in LLB. I just got straight into LLB. But I've seen that a lot of students don't know what's going on in the industry.
True.
And this is why I always speak about the possible career opportunities that are available to them. You don't have to just graduate with your LLB and sit because you're not getting articles.
Yeah.
There are other things, plenty of other things that you can do with your LLB. And just because you're not getting an opportunity to do your article straight after university, it doesn't mean that you won't. If you're really passionate about it, at some point you will get it. But don't just sit with your LLB. And I understand maybe other people are like, okay, I'm trying. And this is also why I speak about tailor your CV to what you're applying for, because most of us are applying blindly. Yes, you are applying and you're not getting like a response, but what is it that you're doing wrong? Ask yourself, what is it that you're doing wrong? And I also get like questions like, what is the difference between an attorney and an advocate? And we look at those things lightly. We're like, everybody knows the difference, but not everybody knows the difference. So, and others will tell me that I'm a magistrate, for example, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, and I want to venture into this field of law. And I'm like, am I even qualified to be speaking to a magistrate, for example?
Have you really gotten a question from a magistrate?
Magistrates, actually. Yeah, like I've been a magistrate for 10 years and now I want to, and I'm just like, I'm just a baby.
But yeah, man, this is though a testament to how guidance is not linked to age. It's just linked to whoever's been curious enough to go through certain things and learn about them, and that empowers them to even teach others regardless of how old they are. So I really love that.
Yeah. Even like risk managers. And I also, what I've loved about my platform, and I was talking to my friend about it, is that even in comments you see like established people giving advice to other people or asking questions. So I'm not the only one, because I'm maybe not well versed in other areas, but there are people in my comment section who are like, I'm a risk manager and this is how I started my career. This is what you can do. So I really love that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, shout out to your comment section, by the way.
Shout out.
Would you like to plug the TikTok account? Because I think it's one of those things where it's worth going to. So can you tell us the handle and, people are trying to find you?
So yeah, my TikTok account is Noxolo N Mkhize. That is where you can find me. And I also contribute to ENX Legal.
Oh,
That's
okay.
another platform that I contribute to, ENX Legal. So you can check it on Instagram at ENX Legal. And yeah, my personal page is Noxolo M on Instagram.
All right, all
Yeah.
right. I mean, we're nearing the end of our wonderful chat. I want to know a bit about who's inspired you to do law, whether it's a fictional character or a real person. You know, what exactly made you believe that this could be a place of opportunity for you?
So I was in university during the era of Atlekgang, Kovuza, TD Vilagazi. So I would really say that Atlekgang Kovuza is the one person who really inspired me. Like, she really inspired me. And I also love the fact that she was very transparent about the profession, also about the monetary section of the profession. She was
Yes,
also
yes.
very like transparent about it. She spoke about the law. She loved the law from the way that she spoke. And I was like, yeah, this is it for me. This is exactly why I need to go. Because Shem, I can't say, oh, it was Suits. I didn't know Suits by then.
Yeah.
I didn't know Suits. I didn't even know Suits existed. But also my sister, shout out to my sister,
Okay.
my cousin, because she studied law. Actually, law was not my first degree, but we won't get into that.
Yeah.
But when I was doing that BSc degree, my sister was doing a law degree, and I'd always see her scripts, and I'd always, so that really, really also contributed to me wanting to be a lawyer. But at that point, I just wanted to be a lawyer, and I didn't even know what it meant.
Yes.
So getting people like Atlekgang, then that is when I saw, another perspective of law, and yeah, I was really, really inspired by them.
All right. And what's your most unrealistic goal or yes, in the career space? What's your most unrealistic career goal? Like, if you can just share with us.
I have a lot of unrealistic goals,
Please,
actually.
please. Maybe you'll manifest. Please tell us.
I think my unrealistic goal is thinking that I can juggle being in practice and being in academia. I want to get into academia, but like maybe in like 10, 15 years, but also still be this big shot lawyer as well. Like,
Okay.
like a partner at a big company or like a CEO, and
Yes, yes.
I can still have a full-time job as a lecturer as well. I feel like that's so unrealistic because corporates.
Yeah, but we've seen those. I think my law of contract lecturer was a partner at Bowman's. So I mean, I've seen.
And he was a lecturer.
Yeah, it was a she, by the way.
It's a she?
Yes, so it's
Okay.
very, very, it's amazing and inspiring. But I think it is one of those wonderful goals, especially because you get to service two different, pillars of the legal industry that are also very important, practice and academia. So not so unrealistic, but I love that. I love that. And do you have any words of encouragement for law students that are perhaps, in your circumstances? You've mentioned how you obviously had your financial struggles. You tried to hustle your way through that. For someone else who says academics is not really my problem, but there's all these other things that keep getting in the way, what would you say to them?
Whew. I think I'd like to say that keep your eyes on the prize. Like, always keep your eye on the prize and remember why you started what you started. And also own race, own pace. You will see a lot of people also career progression, and you would think, oh my gosh, I'm also supposed to be there, but own race, own pace, honestly. And also keeping your eye on the prize will help you a lot, because no matter the circumstances, no matter what you face during your studies, for example, you will always get out of it because you know that your eyes are on this prize. And it can be any other prize. It can be, I want to be an admitted attorney of South Africa. I want to be a certified fraud examiner. If you do have your eye on the prize, there's nothing that you can't achieve, to be honest.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Nakolo, thank you very much. We really loved having you, and thank you for all the knowledge that you've shared.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm also I love Employment Wednesdays.
We love Employment Wednesdays. Guys, if this was live TV, we would have a big problem because all these overruns would mean the news has to wait for us. It'd be literally 7 o'clock and the news are not starting because we can't wrap up the show. So thank you to everyone that's joined us. We really love you guys and your support. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Please, you will be 1001 if you do subscribe now. So please join us, and we also have a membership sort of program that we're running. You can get to have all our content earlier than other people, which means if not Olo or any other guest is sharing very valuable information that perhaps you need to be the first one to action, you could be one of the first people to action that. So thank you guys, and we'll see you again in the next episode.
Bye.